What? Hey everyone there, it's me Kiisues, and I'm back again with another bootleg figure review. And this time, this is not just a regular figure, it's a Marvel Legends series. It's the BAF, or the Build a Figure 1. So let's go! Yeah. Boom. Let's. And this is the figure. As you see, it comes with no box at all. It is just sealed with a zip bag, a plastic bag, and I'm not happy with it because I'm a box lover. As you know me from my previous videos with my custom. So for this bootleg, let's take him out and let's take a look closer with it. So this is the first downside of this figure. Comes with no box at all. And this is Venompool now in standing in front of us. Yeah, it's very good in shape and details. I'm actually loving it. And let's take a look at it closer, the figure and the difference between the authentic and the bootleg. But first, let's talk about with the accessories. Now, yeah. Now this is the accessory that comes with the bootleg version. So let's take a look with the authentic and the bootleg. So here's the authentic. It's actually light in color. The brown color of it is lighter than the bootleg one, which is gloss in finish too. And for its playability, the bootleg is actually hard to pull the katana out of its set. See here, it's very tight. Well, the other one is not that tight, but it's not good at it. While the authentic, as you see here, it's very easy to pull in and out on the katana's set. Okay, for the katana, I'm actually impressed with this one because you won't notice which one is the authentic between these two. So here it's a closer look at it. Here's the bootleg, here's the authentic, and it's very identical. And while observing the two a while ago, I've noticed that the difference between these two is actually the katana's guard. You see the bootleg here, the bootleg, the ones I'm rotating, the guard of the katana is actually distorted. You see that? Yeah, it's not good in mold. While the original or the authentic is very good in shape. And for the alternate hands or the interchangeable hands, okay, I won't talk more about this because it's a straight remold on the authentic, I guess, and it matches the whole figure as a whole. Okay, so yeah. And that's the difference between the bootleg and the authentic accessories of the Venompool buff. So I hope you'll find it informative, so you won't end up getting into scams, because maybe some people may mix match these things with the bootleg and the authentic. So that's a fair warning for all of us. Finally, I plug it on. Okay, dude, this is the first frustrating thing with this figure or this bootleg figure. It's hard to plug this cupboard on the holster, maybe because of the way it was molded. It's not proportionate with the plug, or the female and the male plug of this one is actually not proportionate with each other. Okay, but it's not just a real thing or just a big deal with this. You'll have to put some extra effort and patience to plug this one. But just like with the authentic, it's actually hard to plug the set on the holster, so let's not cry about it now, and let's take a look closer with this guy now. And here's the big guys now. From the right side, here's the authentic, and from the left side, here's the bootleg. And for the obvious reason, we actually now see the differences between these two. And the first thing we're gonna talk about is the obvious thing. The color and paint application. But before we proceed with this video, here's a disclaimer that I am not promoting any bootleg or knockoff figures items. As much as possible, let's support and purchase those licensed and authentic figures. This video is for awareness only, so you won't end up getting into scams. So that's it. Let's talk less now and let's see the differences between these two. And now here's a closer look for the both figures. From the right side, it's the authentic, and from the knockoff, it's from the left side. And now we see the obvious difference between these two, which is the paint color application, the shades, which is very noticeable. For the authentic, we see here that the red parts were actually, light in color or shade, while the bootleg, as we see here at the torso or the lower torso, that it is shiny red shade of paint application, plastic or the plastic material. And I'm pretty impressed with the details, which is very identical, and they did great with the staple details on the bootleg. So you see, here's a lower part. You see those chains, holster, although it's pretty obvious that the bootleg is much darker than the authentic. And that's it. And for the second interesting difference between these two is the height. Yeah, the bootleg is much taller than the authentic. So as you see, I don't have any tools right now, so I'll show you much closer look, which is the limbs or the legs. So you see here, the bootleg is actually elongated, I think because of the mold. So that's the reason why it is much taller than the authentic. So here's a much better look. Here's a back-to-back position of the two figures. So as you see that the bootleg is much higher than the authentic. Yeah, it's a good indication actually. So you know that there's a big difference between the bootleg and the authentic, although these two are very similar. I'm very impressed with the bootleg that they copied it nicely, the details and every stuff that comes with the authentic. So yeah, it's a good indication that the bootleg is much taller than the authentic. And for the head sculpt, there's actually a good indication between these two. There's a very good notes of their differences. Here's a closer look. As you see at the left side, the bootleg, there's a big gap between the lower jaw and the tongue and the upper jaw or the upper head part, because it's a two-piece head sculpt, two-piece part of the head sculpt. I think they glued it that way. So for the plug, or the ball peg or the ball hole. There's the bootleg is actually more narrower than the authentic. You see that there's a big difference between them. And let's try putting the bootleg on the authentic body. You hear that? That's a clicking sound, so that's a good indication that you're holding a bootleg. So here's a difference between the while you're putting the authentic on the bootleg. Okay, that's it. And here's a bonus difference between the neck part of the two figures. From the bootleg, on the bootleg there's a gap between the hinge or the ball hinge on the neck, where it was placed or assembled, while with the authentic we all know that it was assembled properly. There's no gap between the ball joints or the hinge of the ball joints. Yeah, that's a bonus thing. And that's it. Let's go on a much more detail with this bootleg figure itself. And here's an additional detail for this bootleg. I'll try to disassemble the buff. So let's try pulling out the first arm, the left arm. Okay, and I blew my setup right away. It's very tight, my brothers. Okay, this bootleg is very tight in joints actually. Yeah, I'll show you some frustrating things with this one, and I won't try to pull out the what you call this, the right arm or the left arm though. So you see, it's actually good, and it's actually tight. So that's a good thing that's also a good thing with this figure. But I won't try to pull this one because it's very stuck in the body. So yeah, that's the limit on disassembling this bootleg version of Venompool. And yeah, that's it. So let's not try to pull that arm. And that's a fair warning, don't try to pull that arm out. I'm telling you why later on this video. So let's put it back again, and let's proceed with another detail. Okay, for the articulation, here's the head. It goes up this far, it's down. It's a pretty good range. Okay, it rotates 360, a good range also. And a bit a wobbly direction or articulation. And this arm high, that's actually impressive for a bootleg. And here is a ratchet. You'll hear the ratchet while rotating the arms 360. And this is the reason why I'm not able to pull out the left arm. I might break it. So here's a bicep swivel, a little bit loose on the right or the left, and a single jointed elbow, rotating wrist and hinge for the arms. Ab crunch this low, ab crunch this high. There's no good ratchet or ab crunchy sound. Okay, rotating 360 with the swivel, legs forward, backwards, and my favorite, banana split. Yeah, that's a pretty good range. Upper thigh cut, double jointed knees. Oh, sorry, that's a weak ass plugging. So yeah, double jointed knees, and there's the ankle rocker, joint swivel with the foot, articulation. So yeah, that's the articulation and frustration. That's the Venompool Build-A-Figure knockoff version. Yeah, it's not a bad figure, it's not that worse, it's not that, a trashy figure in the wild. So overall, it's not a bad figure or any more than the worst or what else. But for its price point, for those who will ask me how much I purchased this, it is actually 3,000 pesos. Yeah, it's actually that high. Its price point is very frustrating. At some point, I have to drink a beer to decide if I have to, purchase this and make this video. And yeah, I did it. So, if you're asking me if it's worth it, practically and technically, no, it's not worth it. Your money doesn't worth this figure. Okay, if you ask me an advice, no, it's not worth it. If you get what I mean, I know you get what I'm saying. You just have to kick some butt and then get the hundreds you need to purchase the authentic. So you'll go with the authentic then. So yeah, but we may differ with our locations. The locations we are living in or we are residing in. So it's just a matter of aspects. For your decisions, it's still up to you if you would buy this bootleg. But yeah, for me, and practically and technically, at its price point, maybe if it's lower than the 3,000 or just like around 800 pesos or not more than $20, it is very very worth it. Okay, so that's it. That's for this figure. Just be respectful with the community, toy collecting community. It's still it still matters. At the end of the day, big respect with your brothers in collection or in collecting, rather. It's just I know you get what I'm saying here. So that's it, Kisses and Kiises. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, take care. See you next time with another video, and boom.